Hi friends, we're doing lesson 4 in our social studies textbook, unit 2, celebrating cultures. So starting on page 86 and going through 91. All right, page 86, lesson 4, life in Mexico. You can follow along on the PDF that's on my webpage. Okay. Did you know that rocks can be used as a calendar? The early peoples of Mexico did. The Maya and the Aztecs were two of the first civilizations or developed communities who lived in Mexico. The Maya built a pyramid out of rocks to track the seasons. The Aztec used a calendar stone. Even though these civilizations counted 365 days in a year, just like we do, other parts were measured differently. There were 18 months in a year. Each month had approximately 20 days. These calendars were used to help plan for farming and predict the weather. How do you use calendars? I use a calendar to help me stay organized and get my work done. On the left-hand side of that page, it says essential question. How does diversity influence culture? What do you think? Diversity influences culture by introducing traditions, celebrations, food, sports, and other arts. Okay, and then words to know. Find the definition for each word in the glossary. That's in the back of your book. Then write other words that come to mind when you think of each word. Civilization. The word that came to mind is community. Generation. People the same age. Tradition. Passed on by family. And compare is alike. Top of page 87. The character has a speech bubble and he is saying, "Hi, it's Emilio again. I went to Mexico last summer to visit my grandparents. I learned a lot while I was there." The header says, "The people of Mexico." The Maya and the Aztec did more than just rocks. The Maya and the Aztecs did more than just use rocks to keep track of time. The Maya built houses, temples, and pyramids in southern Mexico. Mayan people still live in southern Mexico today. The Aztec founded many cities and towns. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, was built in the middle of a beautiful lake. This is where Mexico City is located today. These civilizations lived alone until Spanish explorers came to the area that is now Mexico in the 1500s. The Spanish took control of the land and ruled for almost 300 years. As Spanish colonists moved there, they brought many things with them. Horses, donkeys, and oxen were new to Mexico. The Spanish also brought the wheel to Mexico. All of these helped with farming, especially with an important new crop, sugarcane. The Spanish also brought their language to the native people of Mexico. Today, most people in Mexico still speak Spanish. In fact, it is the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world. Underline the ways in which the Spanish influenced Mexico. So the Spanish influence came with farming, because they brought horses, donkey, and oxen. Also language, and they brought the wheel. Page 88. The header says, "Life around the country." Some people in Mexico still live in small villages. Most people live in cities and large towns. A lot of people live in Mexico City, the country's capital. More people live in this urban area than in any other Mexican city. Some people in Mexico City are immigrants. They moved from countries in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Because so many people live and work in the city, it's really crowded and has a lot of traffic. But it also has a lot of great places to visit, like museums and theaters. There are a lot of businesses and universities too. The character, the speech bubble says, did you know that Mexico is one of the largest cities in the world? More than 20 million people live there. Number 1. How is life in Mexico City similar to life in the Southeast United States? Now remember, you have to go back to page 79 to compare and contrast. Life in Mexico City is similar to life in the Southeast U.S. because of the Spanish and native people influence. Number 2. What region of the United States do you think is most like Mexico, and why? The region of the United States I think is most like Mexico is the Southwest because of the Mexican and native influence. Top of page 89. People live in other parts of the country too. The people who live in the Valley of Mexico spend a lot of time outdoors because of the mild weather. People who live in the rainforest get their food from plants and by hunting and fishing. They work hard to both enjoy and protect the resources of the rainforest. Fewer people live in Mexico's desert areas because it is hard to work and live there. There isn't enough water to grow crops, so farmers in desert villages and towns use pipes or ditches to bring in water from other areas. The subheader called family. Subheader means it's under a big header. So on page 88, the header was called Life Around the Country. So a subheading underneath that is called family. No matter where people live, family is very important in Mexico. Often, many generations live together or near each other. A generation is a group of people born and living around the same time. By living near each other, many generations of a family are able to spend time together and help each other. They also share stories and traditions. A tradition is a way of doing something that has been passed along by families for many years. Some traditions include celebrating holidays and cooking special meals. How does family life in Mexico compare to your family life? My family compares by sharing food and celebrating holidays. Draw a picture of a tradition you share with your family. Fireworks and family. 4th of July. Top of page 90. The header says the culture of Mexico. The people of Mexico have many celebrations too. One of the country's most important holidays is Independence Day. Every year on September 16th, Mexicans celebrate gaining their independence from Spain. As the United States, Mexicans also celebrate Cinco de Mayo. This holiday celebrates Mexico's victory over French invaders. Throughout the country, people participate in parades to honor the day. An important part of any culture is the food. Have you ever eaten a tortilla? It is flat, thin bread made of corn and flour. Tortillas and other corn products are eaten daily in Mexico. Corn, beans, rice, and squash are foods found in many Mexican dishes. Vegetables such as avocados, tomatoes, and potatoes are other ingredients commonly used in Mexican cuisine. Music is also a part of Mexico's culture. Some musicians play songs on violins, guitars, and other instruments. Others play a type of music called cumbia. This music has Caribbean influences. It mixes flute, drums, and maracas. What part of Mexican culture do you see in the United States today? The parts of Mexican culture I see in the United States is through food, music, and celebrations. Top of page 91. The subheading is called The Arts and Sports. Just like the United States, the arts and sports are a large part of Mexico's culture. Many cities have colorful wall paintings called murals. Some murals were influenced by the Aztec and Mayan civilizations. Mexican ballet and theater groups perform throughout the country and around the world. Sports are important in Mexico as well. Football is the most popular sport in Mexico. We call it soccer here in the United States. Children and adults play football in backyards, at school, and in large stadiums. Baseball is another popular sport. Do you play any of these sports? How are Mexico and the United States similar? Mexico and the United States are similar because we like sports and the arts. The talk bubble for the little character says, during celebrations, some people wear large hats called sombreros. The hats help people stay cool by keeping the sun off of their faces. Lesson 4, essential question. How does diversity influence culture? Diversity influences culture by introducing traditions, celebrations, food, sports, and the arts. All right, friends, kiss your brain.